Kind of cool song. Hello, everybody. Let me get my... There we go. How's it going? Got some paintings. Multiple orders this month. Let me go to our other type of music. Our chill music. Here we go. So, we're working on those. I think you guys have seen this one. That's what I'm working on. We'll go over to Esther cam and Esther's on this cam right now. Looks like she's in a bathrobe.
Ugh.
Like what?
Everything.
I don't know what that means. All right. So.
Whoa, why is this brush getting ruined?
Microphone in a way that we can hear her. Oh, well. That wasn't very good. I got the suit done on the one I'm working on. Oh, here's Esther's cam. There you go. The pants have just the first layer, so they look kind of meh. But other than that, I'll be working on this one over here. Esther working on that one. There's flowers on that one. And Esther usually does the flowers. So I will be moving my cam now to get to where it is looking at the painting. I retightened some stuff so that it's not just floundering around.
Flounder?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
Floundering? Haven't heard that?
So where would I find the picture for this?
That one. I'll send it to you.
Cool. Can you send it to your old phone, please?
Yep, I'll airdrop it right now. You know me, I'm about figuring stuff out, doing it quick.
So we missed an upload.
Yes, we did.
We filmed a video for like 30 minutes.
Yep.
And then it wasn't recording. It stopped. It was recording. It recorded for 3 minutes and then just shut off. And we didn't notice, so
Yeah.
we were like, whatever. Because we filmed it on the day that we're supposed to upload late. And we were like, we're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
This one.
Alright, so I'm gonna send it to the phone there.
Oh, thanks.
And then Esther's gonna get started painting over there. And I'm gonna start painting on mine.
Alright.
Yeah, it was sad. We had filmed a whole video, and then it all shut off during it. Like, it wasn't our fault. Like, Like we tried,
So yeah.
So then we weren't able to post. But here we are live. Well, we missed a live too, so we're not doing so hot.
I don't know why we missed the live.
There's probably time. But it's just hard when I come back and it's not ready.
Well.
What?
Not so subtle shade being thrown. It's just hard when, you fail.
Really? That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
Really?
Oh, I was loud, sorry.
Let's see. Oh, you guys are on Esther cam right now.
I think we were doing things, though.
Well, I mean, that's not really the point.
Lay around, but...
There's late and early times when it can definitely be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be working on the dress.
Oof. My
So
mood of the day is subpar.
Oh, subpar. Nice.
Not of the day, just of right now. I had a good day. I've been wanting to get into furniture flipping. I've been seeing that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And today there was a big dresser and a little table
right next to our house.
Right next to our house on the corner. Everybody always puts stuff there.
Which they shouldn't, by the way. But
there's been tons of stuff there over the 2 years we've been here, and I've never taken any of it. And so these just appeared, and I was like, get them right away. So we tried to get them into the backyard. I was weak as all can be. So then a guy was across the street, and George was like, hey, can you help me? He came and helped us, so that was awesome.
Yeah,
George is the king of getting stuff done, because we tried to move it. We had just gotten in the car to go somewhere. We tried to move it. I was like, oh, okay, just forget it. Let's just go so we're not late.
And I was like,
and he was like, no, you want it? We're getting it.
Yeah.
So we got that. So
that's what I told the guy.
Those 2 pieces.
I said, hey, my wife wants this. Can you grab it? And he's like, yeah.
So we got those 2 pieces. And then our neighbor right next to us was like, do you guys want to come look at some shelves and see if you want them? So then we got another shelf from her.
Yep.
So I now have 3 pieces of furniture in my backyard. Our backyard.
Well, if you wanted to do furniture flipping.
And so now I'm got to commit and get them done because I got 3 pieces back there.
That's the hard part.
But I did step 1 for the smallest piece. I'm starting with the smallest piece because obviously I've never done it before. So, step 1 was fill a whole gash kind of thing in the top.
Oh wait, you did that?
It wasn't very big, but it was just a little dip, so obviously you got to fill it, otherwise it's going to look not good.
Wait, you did that?
So, yeah.
Oh, when?
So I put the little wood filler in the top, scraped it, and then it said you have to leave it for 2 to 6 hours before you sand it, so I'm like, great, I just have to leave it till tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm excited to work on that, so hopefully that'll get me up on time so I can go work. And then I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby with Mom, your mom, at 12.
Well, that's your mom as well.
Which is funny because when I quit work, I was like, you guys will see me a lot, don't worry. And then I was like, not going back there. I thought I would be in shopping often because
Which you kind of are.
Because I
still.
often see stuff while I was working that I feel like, oh, after work, I want to come look at this stuff.
And then you wouldn't be able to.
And then I would usually be too tired to look at it.
Sure.
But obviously, I was there 24/7, so I saw a lot of stuff that slightly piqued my interest, but I couldn't really look at. But now that I'm not there, I'm not seeing new stuff come in or when stuff gets clearanced or everything, so I'm not tempted to go. So, haven't been in, but then, what day is it today? It's Thursday?
Today is Thursday.
Wednesday, Tuesday. On Tuesday I went in for something, for paper and some stuff for a project George wanted to do, which we'll have to show. I'll have to go get it while you're painting.
Oh, today we'll show it? I was thinking maybe we'd show it on a video or something.
Oh, whatever you want.
I mean, I guess you could call this a video.
So anyways, he wanted some stuff for a project. I needed some paper for scrapbooking. So I went in. Then I went in today because George thought of another thing that he needed for the project that he was working on.
Wait, what did you get today
So
for
then
the
I went
project?
back today and got him a spray paint.
Oh, spray paint, truth.
Then I saw a clearance spray paint, so I got 2 other cans that I didn't need.
Nice.
But I had the intention of maybe I'll use it on one of my furniture things.
Oh, really? One of those colors? Maybe. Maybe not.
Probably not, but
Oh, probably not?
I think I'll use one of them. I'll use it's like a patterned black color. It's like what's it called?
Oh, yeah,
Hammered
texture.
black, so it kind of looks metallic.
Whoa. Now, the big thing about
And
doing
then
the
I was in
DIY...
today, so what I was trying to say with that big long thing was that I am going to Hobby Lobby 3 days in a row.
That's amazing.
Now you can say what you're
Oh, yeah, no
gonna
problem.
say.
The big thing with DIY furniture stuff is if it has hardware, putting new hardware on it. So what do you think about that?
Only one of the pieces has hardware.
Correct. So what do you think about that?
And I'm probably going to change it or color it. But I'm most likely going to change it just because I'm excited about making it different. You know?
Yeah, well, that's the point. And then I think she's going to resell it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes, because I have no room or need for more furniture.
Oh, no, we have... No, not at all. We don't need it.
And
or
I have
want
a kind
it.
of fun idea for the one we got from our neighbor.
Oh, really? Because that one was interesting. I mean, I'll be honest.
It's not the
thing,
typical furniture flipping piece.
No, the thing we got from the neighbor is literally the neighbor, obviously. And, we're talking to her and we go look at this stuff. And then, honestly, I was like, well, I don't want either of these things. After we looked at them. And I was like, well, I'll just take one. She literally had it sitting in her backyard. And now it is sitting in our backyard. So, which is totally fine. And I'm glad we got it, and I'm glad she mentioned it. But it just wasn't really, I was like, oh, I wasn't really sure what it was. It's literally just like an office kind of thing. It wasn't, I mean, I guess it's furniture, but it was more like...
It's a box with one shelf.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
It's not super interesting.
Yeah.
But I have an idea to make it interesting. So I better...
Just make sure you video it and then post.
A YouTube video.
Yeah.
I really don't want to because I'm just excited to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to have to worry about setting up camera, blah, blah, blah.
You just set it up once and get it going.
Oh, but I'm going to have
Because that's part of your...
Get it done.
That's part of your job, love.
I know. My strenuous life,
I know so many people would wish they could sit at home and shoot videos, but...
Trust me, I am very thankful.
Are you, though?
Yes, like every day I'm like, wow, what a life.
But then wouldn't you try and do the things,
I mean, I do.
Do you? Some of them. But just the ones that you've...
You sound...
What?
Very rude.
Really? We're just talking, though. I mean, we've obviously had the conversation
I don't
off...
take it as rude, but maybe
we've had the conversation off live, obviously, so I mean we can obviously talk about it, but it's extremely difficult to be at home and then feel like I'm gonna get this stuff done, but I'm at home, can't I just not?
Yeah,
it's very difficult. But you said that's what you were gonna be wanting to do, and then it seems like you don't, so it's like, what is it? Do you or do you not? Oh, this looks good.
I do, and I have done lots of the things that I said I would, and I am happy with where I'm at.
Yeah. But what about like the schedule stuff?
Yeah, that's scheduling. And I am... When something happens, I'm like, okay.
My life is over.
No, but I'm like, alright. That has upset me, and now it's everybody's problem.
But isn't that...
I'm not like annoying, but I'm like, oh great, I feel like doing nothing now that this thing didn't work.
But isn't that a problem? I mean,
yes, it is. It's an immature quality.
Right. And so I just wonder...
And I'm working on it, bro.
Right, but what about the things that are being missed? Like, what are we gonna do, Because they're not like sometimes being missed or like, oh, whoops, that one time out of it. It's like if there's 5, 3 or 4 are missed. It's like an 80, 90%. So what would...
Okay.
Well, but that's...
That's how you feel?
Well, but that's not feel. We had 3 days of working on stuff and 2 of the things were missed. So like that's what I'm one, because that's not me being rude or mean to you. Like we've talked about this, we're working on stuff. It's not me like calling you out or anything. That's just what has happened. So I just wonder what you think about missing that % of it. Is it something that we're gonna do? Are we just gonna cancel it? Because it's not me saying like, oh, you're some big problem. It's like, okay, well, are we not gonna do this? Let's just scrap it now then. Because there's no reason to waste our time on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of focusing here.
You're focusing over there. That's fine.
I was
but you know what I mean?
talking and not doing any painting, so I was like, okay,
oh, yeah.
I need to actually paint, so now.
I like to talk specifically while I paint.
I do not.
No, I know, it's fine. No, it's not a problem.
It's me distracted. I already have to be really careful because I often get caught up in painting and start to shift where stuff is.
Right, and oh wait, by the way, we need to see some Esther cam. Been on mine for a while. When you move your painting though, you gotta also move your camera. Whoops, I'm moving your camera now that I'm on her cam. Sorry. There you go. Oh, that's perfect.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, good job on the flowers, yeah.
Thank you.
No, we
Anyways, I feel
like
like
having conversations on the live, so don't feel like we're like sitting here fighting, guys.
The stuff that I'm missing is like the YouTube stuff, and
right.
I just, which is bad. I'm like, it's okay. It's not where I'm not even working on it 100% right now.
But that's the problem.
Grow it, so I'm like, it's not super important. It's not like we're missing some vast amount of views.
No, of course not. But you have to treat it
like that if you don't.
Right, exactly. It's the people.
Keep up with it when it's small because then.
Exactly. Well, but that's also really easy for people to say, like, oh, like, you have to care just as much about one person watching as 100,000. Well, you can't, and you won't. you like, that's a super nice thing to say, and as you're saying it now, you've heard me say it, and I've said it to you, and you know, but it's also just not the case. You do have to do that, but no, if I knew even 500 people were going to be on this live watching today, you best believe it would have been on the dot, because I would have moved other things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I totally understand the thought process of, I totally get the saying and the thing of, oh, you have to care just as much for one viewer as the others. And in theory, this is true, and this will prove whether or not you will have longevity. And obviously that's something that I'm, trying to work on with Esther and do for the channel, because it is very important for future stuff that we're working on. If it was just for this, then it would be like, oh, it doesn't matter. But with Esther not working on other things and wanting to be home to work on this stuff, the talk was, okay, well, that's a good idea if this stuff's going to be worked on. But then if it's not going to be worked on, then you should go and do something else, So that's what I'm saying, because I'd much rather just cancel it now before it's long down the road, just very little here and there getting worked on, and then like after, I don't know, not some crazy amount of time, but a short/long, 6 months to a year of time, and it's like, oh, I only ever did just kind of work on it for all that time. Well, I'd rather just cancel it now than if that's the thought. Because 6 months time of just, oh, maybe, is, I think, a big waste. Let's see. There's folds and blends and things in here, but this dress doesn't have a lot of detail and texture, and I'm trying to like kind of add it. Here, I'll show you. It's coming along really well, but look at that detail. Let me hold it more flat. There you go. Ooh, look at that, look. You'll see it best on the screen if you look up there. Some really nice little details in there. So what do you think about that, love? Are you going to be able to do it more on the times and the days, or what?
I mean, I think so. And I'm trying.
But how, though, Because just saying that isn't going to do it, because 2 out of 3 things were missed. Right? So.
Yeah, but we were also doing other things, so.
Well, right, but that's the whole thing. Like, those other things either can't be planned or won't be planned or have to be canceled.
I have no idea what your schedule is still. We have to write it down so I actually
but the school...
Oh, he has a break at this time, so let's do the videoing live, blah, 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 at that time.
Well, that'll never happen anymore, because I'm not working from home anymore. So that whole scenario that you just said, we know isn't the case.
That is the whole reason that you're not home. That's why I need to know, so I know when...
Well, it will always be evening.
Okay.
But we have talked about that. You're acting like we haven't.
I have no idea. I've said multiple times, you need to sit down with me and we'll write out what
but we did do that.
Schedule's going to be. Nope. Haven't done a single thing about that.
Well,
we looked at scheduling students for your teachers and stuff. But we did not look at your schedule.
I mean, I can tell you right now, lives will be at 7 or 8. I mean...
Okay, and then we just need to go over how to do it, because
but like, I don't think
so many different.
But I don't think that's what we're talking about. I think you're changing the subject a little bit, because we were talking about the YouTube stuff, which has nothing to do with my schedule, really. We can do it at any time. It just wasn't being, like, it can just be ready. You're acting like it has to be so specific, but you're just here all day.
Yeah, but
like,
I'm not trying to do every video by myself.
No. But like, the live could just be ready. Like, why do you need to know exactly when? You know what I'm saying? Like, it can just be on, and then I walk through the door, and it's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder...
Yeah, I just need you to show me how to do it with this one.
Oh, okay. You don't remember how to use this app?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy.
Because,
I think...
The other app is super simple, so I'm sure it'll...
This one is very simple. Yeah.
To learn how to do
this one I think might be simpler. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I think you're.
But it's been.
You're trying to make it about something else, but the thing is.
Very short.
But
I've not been working literally 4 months, and it's been
this
summer
is true.
Months,
but.
And we were. Just
Well, right, but how long can we say that? Because then we said, oh, this summer's when we're gonna do.
As long. So if a month goes by and I missed 90% of the stuff, then okay, you're not gonna do it.
But
you're about to go back to work, and that is our test to see, because if you're here, I'm 90% less productive.
But we don't want to actually cancel it. That's not really that's not even really an option.
What?
Just not doing it. I understand
completely an option.
Well, no, it is an option, but that's not really something that we want. So if we treat it
another job or my old job back in.
Well, right, but you don't want that. You don't want that.
No, I don't.
Right.
I'd be depressed, but.
But so that but if you make that an option, then it's at least 50% of a chance that that's what we're gonna do.
Well,
if you're like, oh, I just might miss.
Enough stuff isn't being done to your liking that you would.
Hey, whoa! Well, don't make it to my like. Do you like how it's being done?
Here's the thing. I like filming videos. I like doing lives and stuff. But if I'm not in the mood to do a live, I'm like, not in the mood.
But you have to kind of treat it a little bit like a job. Like you feel like you can just.
The process of doing all this stuff, I despise. I do it because you can't just. I mean, you could hire an editor. That's what everybody does, but
yeah, I think we will.
Here at the point.
Sure. At some point, we totally could if we.
Literally just home all day, so why don't I do it? But
well, that's the real question. I'm wondering if
it's super frustrating for me. Never work on computers. Everything is new. Literally just to know how to print something. I'm like, hello, how do you do it? So it's super annoying, and then it's also extra annoying when you can do it in about 3 seconds.
Right,
and you know how to work everything.
But I also very nicely show you, so it's a little upsetting to me.
I know you look at what I've done, and you're like, how did that take you 3 hours? You must have not been working on it. And I'm like, no, it literally takes me 3 hours to do it.
Right. But also, I've also shot videos. It's I've done a lot of things that I can do. You're making it sound like I just threw you at it and said, here, do this right now. But it wasn't anything like that.
Yes, I have used my videos.
I shot all these videos.
We made these videos, and then
the process
days
changes.
Later, you're like, hey, here's a better way to do it.
Right, exactly. Well, we can shoot another video. I mean, that is wasting time.
I do know how to do
most
the main parts, but then it's just
it's what?
Lots of stuff. Just knowing where to put stuff, or why you should have done this effect here, and it's okay, but I just didn't think of that. I don't have the same. But
I don't want you to have the same. That's the thing. I want you. You're very good at it. People that have watched it, they're like, oh, I love watching your face and stuff. It's definitely something that I don't want you to do it like me.
I know, and it's.
I want you to do your own thing with it. That was kind of the whole point. You wanted to be home, you wanted to work on stuff. It's okay, well, here's the things, but it seems like you would just rather.
And the other thing is, it's super, because everything takes me so long, it's super hard to be able to upload twice a week, even though that's not that much.
Yeah, it's very
and
little.
I have
it's only gonna get more.
I have literally tons of stuff, which would have made it fine. Our whole thing was, okay, get a bunch of videos ready before we start it, and then we can always be
But
ahead.
The thing is, Liv, you're not looking at those.
I look at it and it's just not good. And
but have you really? How much time? Have you spent 8 hours on it every day in a row? You know what I'm saying?
8 hours on what? I'm telling you.
I'm saying
some of the footage, and some of it's just
right, but I'm saying imagine if you sat here and worked on it as hard as you did at Hobby Lobby. How much would be done by now?
It's just a completely different, not even comparable.
But if you worked as hard, just the not the work ethic part. If you actually sat down and looked at it every single day and clocked in and clocked out, how many videos would be done by now? 20, 30?
No,
you worked so hard
need to film them with you.
Well, but that's part of it. I didn't say the editing.
By myself,
I didn't say the editing.
Like doing that, and I'm not trying to just have videos.
Well, right. But what do you think my reply would be if I walked home, I got home after teaching, and you had a spreadsheet out that said, "Here's all the videos we're doing tonight." I'd be up till 4 a.m. with you filming those videos happily. Like, none of that's there. We can't film the videos because we don't know, we have nothing to film. Like, I would...
Okay, well, I literally have a list of stuff, and I gave you 3
well, let's do
options
it.
the other
And
day
we did it, and then it
to do,
broke.
and then
Right.
I chose what to do, and
Right.
it just didn't work.
But that was just one time you did that. We were trying to do that the
but
whole
I'm saying,
summer.
Yes, I have a list of things that we
Right,
do.
well, let's do it. Like, have you looked at it 8 hours every day?
No, and I will
Right.
not.
Well, right, the 8 hours, right. I don't want you to have to do stuff for 8 hours, but if
I'm
it's...
looking, yeah, it's
But
like,
if it's something
the whole point of
enjoyable,
this is-
if it's something enjoyable, could you at least do it a few hours a day? Like, I think it's pretty
I just
short.
told you it's not enjoyable for me. Granted, it's better than my other job, so.
Well, I guess that's
I'm
the
happy to
question.
do
Like,
it,
I would much
but
rather have you do something that you like to do, but I also don't really know what that is. I don't really know what that is.
I can't like it 100%. I like
there's nothing
working
to like
on-
100%.
I like filming the videos and stuff, but I can't film them and not edit them. So I don't like the editing. That's the main part.
But then
I
don't-
still do it, and it's fine.
Right, but then doesn't all...
And I'd much rather work on that in the comfort of my home, not liking it, than go to a job that I hate and
Right, that's
cry
the
for
question.
3 hours before I even
Sure.
have a shift. to
But
go to.
but then do you want to just... Right, you have edited the videos, but then half the time they're not getting done. Do you want to just be, oh, I only do things that I like? Like, I mean, is that... I don't know. Is that actually even an option?
What?
Just doing things you like all the time. Like, I mean, I love what I do, and honestly, most all the time I do really enjoy it.
It's not an option for lots of people.
Right, but that's what I'm asking. Like, are you going to be able to come to grips with that, or are you going to just keep looking for something that you like 100% of the time?
No. I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna delete this. Not interested.
We're going to delete the live?
Yeah.
But we were just talking, though. We don't have to talk about this stuff. You were chill about it. It's just very important. We don't talk about it nearly enough, and you seem to talk about it so much more freely on the live. Like, obviously, we've talked about it in person many times, obviously. But we seem to talk a lot longer when we're sitting in here painting, and it just so happens that whenever we paint, we live. Now, it's not about the live. It's when we're sitting in here painting. Anyway. Why would you want to delete it?
Because we sound not happy.
Well, but that's not really... Are we happy or are we not? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm fine, but...
well, I guess that's the question. Then if we're not happy and we live about it, so be it. Like, are you just trying to only put out happy stuff?
Yes, nobody cares about us talking about this.
Well, but it's just as much for us. We said that specifically, that the lives were like therapy. No, we didn't say that. That the lives were giving us a schedule and a thing and a time and
But they're not, because we're just doing them randomly.
Well, I want to do them regularly.
I know. Goodness gracious. How about you quit your job and work on it then?
I would, but then we would not really... Actually, could I? Yes. Am I going to? No. Because, again, it's not about... Even though
Maybe
it's...
I should just find a job that I
like. Go
I'm
ahead.
Really not
It'd be very
good.
sad.
I'm the worst personality type to try and do a on your own business.
I completely disagree with
Want to
that.
run myself.
I completely disagree with
I like
that.
to be told exactly what to do, have an exact thing.
And
that
I've done that,
requires-
and I've done that, and
This
I've
is
given her
why
specific
I hated
things.
English in school, because I had to write stuff and stuff had to come out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, math, exact one answer and a formula, fantastic. Hobby Lobby, pretty, I mean, still, but there was creative stuff to that, because it's like, oh, build a display, find something that'll look good, and blah, blah, blah. But that's different, I feel like.
We
But
jumped
maybe
from
it's only-
from math to then creative, so I don't know what to
I'm
say.
saying this stuff that I have to work on is a lot of just, there's no, like,
Stuff that I have to work on.
there's no, like, an exact thing that I need to do. It's like, I have to come up with a video idea. So it's not just like, there's X, Y, Z, you know? I have to
No, I
think about
totally understand.
and blah, 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 and then there's the
But
editing,
you're acting-
there's the videos that tell me how to do it, but I can follow those exact steps, but then it's just a boring video if I only do, edit the audio, clip, blah, 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 blah.
But then we still come back to, is this something you want to do? And you flip-flop back and forth. If you don't want to do it, let's cancel it tonight.
Here's the thing. Here's the
I'm
thing.
totally
the
chill.
Trouble is,
This is something that we
despise-
wanted to do.
I despised my old job, so I'm whenever I think about not wanting to do this, I'm like, well, I don't not want to do it as much as I didn't want to do it.
But what a sad thing.
Yeah, but that's life.
Is it though? Does it have to be? Should it be? I don't know. I mean, it's just obviously a very open-ended conversation that we're just talking about and having a good time. But I just wonder, because this isn't something we have to do. This is something that both of us wanted, definitely. There's no question.
Yes.
But then the thing is that it seems like you want it, but you don't want the work along with it. And I don't know if that's possible. Like, it'd be cool. Like, do you want to hire an editor? We could tomorrow. Like, you see what I'm saying? It would be it would be dumb, but you know what also? It could really get us doing it, and it's not like we don't have the money to spend on that. Like, obviously, a lot of people, there's two ways to grow.
It just doesn't make sense to do that.
No.
Maybe it does make sense because I'm obviously not doing it.
Well, but here's the thing. There's two ways of building something. Slow, consistent, ground level up. Hire the people you need at the beginning. Explode the thing if you know you have the talent and you're good at it. We're people that people like to watch. We could hire a management type person and an editor type person. Would it cost us a lot of money? Yeah, it would cost like we could structure it something to go anywhere from like 30 to 60 grand a year. But if we do it correctly and we watch it all grow together, yeah, we've spent money, but we know where it's going. And that could actually be something. Do I think that's what we should do? Do I think that's what we should do? Not necessarily, but it is an actual thing. We don't even know. We don't sit down and talk about it enough to know the actual possibilities. I don't like spending money. I do like hiring people, but for very specific things where money's coming in to pay them. I don't like hiring people where I'm like paying them and money's not coming in directly to then pay, you know what I'm saying, to then pay them. Like I'd want the YouTube channel or the art, whatever it may be, all of it put together, making a certain amount of income before I'd hire somebody. But a lot of times is you've built and made money elsewhere and you put it into a new project. And most people when starting a new project are negative. Not negative as in personality, or they're in debt when they start. I've always started things and they're making money right away with no overhead. And that's cool and that's fun, but those are few and far between, and I found some very interesting, weird things that actually work that way. Most things don't. We could easily go at this. There's the Esther cam, good flowers, you can zoom up on it. I always go to her camera and then move it, which doesn't, well, almost twice. So I just want you guys to get a chance. It's so cool how the cameras move around. I just want Esther to move them more. There you go. Look at those flowers. Very nice. A lot of detail. I'm not sure why it looks so dark right now on the screen, but I can make it brighter. There you go. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a great conversation. I don't think it's about you did this, you didn't do that or anything, and I don't think we've been doing that. But I'm just saying if we don't regularly talk about it, nothing, it's the, what were you were journaling or something the other day. I never got to see that though. Where is that?
It was sitting on the desk for
Was it?
2 days. Yeah.
On what desk? There's many desks.
This is right here, right
Oh, really?
your spot.
Well, what even was it? What was it in? I don't
It's
even...
Well, we'll get it later, but it's in that little rack there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, just it's that type of stuff. It's the actually consistent talk and work and not work like, oh, we have to work or work's the most important thing. No, but we're working on things that we want to work on. Like we've chosen, we want, we're I call it work. I like work. I like jobs. That's something that I really like. And I know a lot of people have a negative connotation with that. But for me, when I'm talking about work and jobs, it's projects and creative outlets. But I would want you to feel the same way about whatever it is that we're doing, What?
What?
During the live? So yeah.
Burping is a part of my personality.
This is true. I have no problem with it. This turned out really good. We're about done here. It's about 30 minutes in. That'll be the time of most of the lives as we continue here, because they'll be a little later in the evening, and we want to be realistic about how much time. I know there's some up there that are over an hour, but that just won't be the case. I'm going to hold mine up here close. Esther's going to hold hers up close to hers just to end here, and we'll look at each one. Well,
Oh, to yours?
No, to yours.
Oh.
Just get it even, really close up in there. Here's Esther's, looking at the flowers. Oh, very nice. I love see, it's funny because the way, oh, don't go over there. We've seen that. I mean, it does look nice, but I want to see your flowers that you did today. Esther paints like this on her flowers, and it's how I wanted her to do that mushroom painting. When I talked about like each thing was like a doppel, and like you could see each brush stroke, she always does her flowers like that, and I love it.
But the mushrooms are so big.
I know, the big makes it more difficult, but you gotta use huge brushes, and you don't like using these. You don't like using these. So when you go larger, you gotta keep that same technique, and how do you do that? You have to use bigger brushes. So anyway, guys, nice to see. We'll end on the paintings here. There's back to this one. Esther did these flowers too. Looks very nice. See like each brush stroke. See inside there with the, sorry, my hands look a little gross. In there with the detail on the rose. Very nice. All right, guys, lots of fun. I enjoy having those conversations during the live. Love, how about you?
Kinda.
Well, what?
I don't know. Okay, bye.
Well, what do you think? Like, I at one point you said delete it, but then you were having fun with the conversation, and then you were like back and forth. Like, what are you actually thinking?
No, I just feel like people will think that we were unhappy, and I'm not. But I am just, yeah.
But are you, and you're pretend, and you don't, and you want to just put off that you're not? Are you actually unhappy about it?
Not really.
Here, talk over into your mic, guys. If we're just like literally talking, you can like more like look at it. My mic is towards where Esther is, so when I look at it, I get to look at her, but her mic is on the other side, so then when she looks at it, yeah, exactly. Nice. So like, I don't know, I think it's...
I don't know. I'm in no mood to have this.
Wait, now we're in a mood?
No, I was in a mood before we even started.
Yeah, but then you were in a great mood once we started.
Because we had multiple...
Plans change.
Yes, we had some either small concert we were going to go to, or this group event, or our friend's house, and then it was like, oh, which one do we do? And then it was like, oh, wait, we can't do this one anymore. Let's do this. And then the one we chose didn't work out. The other one we couldn't do. The other one, it was past the time, and I really didn't want to do that one. So, I don't know. I need to learn how to still do stuff when I'm not in the mood.
Things have changed.
Because if something gets messed up, or that video didn't record, I was like, cool, I'll just never do another video again. That's fine.
Right.
But my sweet husband was nice, and you put the dishes away for me.
True.
And what else?
As I should do. I mean, I don't want that to be like, oh, look at this super special thing that he did for me. But yeah, it was a nice thing to do, and you weren't feeling it, and so you do things for each other. I mean, that's just what you do. I'm moving some camera stuff over here. I hope that we keep talking and actually don't end it, but we're gonna find out here in a second.
We went to.
But I want to be able to go back and forth between our faces as we're talking. So
today
Esther
we went
will fix
to.
your camera as my eyes are very blue.
Goodness gracious! Can I say something?
You've been talking the whole time. Make your camera. Here, I don't know.
Anyways, today we went to one of his schools that is about to start, and I cleaned up this room that we've spent multiple different days going to clean up, because he got a new band room and it's absolutely thrashed. So we spent multiple days cleaning that up, and now it's nice and perfect, and I'm happy.
Oh, and Esther's
and
amazing.
I was like, I'm so glad I don't have my old job, and just whenever you need me to come help, I can just come and help you or bring you lunch. Or
well, and
whatever.
That's great, but is that it for
down?
you? No, you're not even being shown yet. But is that it? Is that it?
Oh wow, he doesn't care about my help.
No, not is that it?
All?
No.
Clean up my room.
No, is that it for you? Is that what makes you happy? I was
absolutely.
Oh, you were just perfectly in frame, and now you're out. You can move.
No, that's impossible. Unless I was like super slouched.
Your head was perfectly in it.
Oh.
But you can move. Just grab it. No, just
where it was. Hi, how's it going?
Well, you can, but just grab it. Like, that's the whole point. I want you to grab it and move it whenever. No, but yeah, just grab it and move it, and that's the whole point.
Anyways, yes, that is what makes me happy. Cleaning and working on the house. I love it.
But that's great. We'll get a little closer to it now that we're just talking.
Honestly, cleaning is like one of my favorite things.
Well, then why aren't we doing this?
Yes.
Why aren't you well, do you want to be a personal organizer? Like, what are we, like, what
See, here's the thing.
And here's the I know. You don't want... No, but it's not necessarily bad.
Wait, go back.
Okay. I just want to make it so we can go back and forth.
Here's the thing. I enjoy cleaning and organizing. If I had like a 9 to 5 scheduled out...
Then you wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it. And that's just me being a bad person. But...
Well... But not necessarily. Don't say that's me being a bad person, because then people will be like, what is George saying to her when they're not on the live?
Is that not just laziness?
Well, if you ask me my opinion,
self-discipline?
If you ask me my opinion, I would say yes, that's what that is.
I mean, not necessarily lazy, because I still enjoy doing the work, but just not disciplined. Or I just don't like schedule, I guess. If I could just decide when to do everything and just do it when I want to do it, which is, again, very childish, bad thing to say.
So are you upset? Are you unhappy? Like what? Like you're saying these things that you're like, I don't want them to think we're unhappy. Well, what if you are? Like,
I'm not. I'm pretty thriving at the moment.
In what way? Because you're also saying.
And I'm happy with where I am right now.
In this room, doing live?
No.
Oh, you're not happy about that?
Not having a job, being at home.
Oh.
Working on house stuff and video stuff. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't like that I have to...
Oh, Esther's super bright.
Yeah. So. I don't like the scheduledness of it. I have to every 2 times a week. It's not that often, but for me, it feels like super often, because if I film 2 days in advance, it's like, oh my gosh, I'll be right up to the end, because it takes so long to work on the videos and the
But then I think that does go. But then I think that does go back to you saying.
If I could do 1 video a week, I'd probably be like, oh great, because I have time.
No, I can't. I completely disagree with that. You do the same. You do the same thing. Do you have more time? Sure, but you would say, oh, I only have 6 days to get this ready. Oh, it doesn't.
And
end.
Also, it went from like having so much pre-filmed, so it was like, okay, just film, blah blah blah, we have this supply, and then like half of it I decided, oh wait, I don't like any of this, and I don't think these will make good videos.
But so then what should you have done when that happened?
I don't know.
Recorded a bunch the next day, right? Like, wouldn't you
but that's just not realistic. How can I didn't like that stuff, let me just imagine 8 ideas out of my head and film them all tomorrow.
Well, but then there's that list that has 50 there.
Yeah, I don't have a list of 50, that's for sure.
Oh, well, what's the list?
Like 10, maybe?
Oh, well, that's not even the... So how long did you spend on that list, making that list? How much time?
Actually, a long time. I'm just super... I looked at, like... I Googled, like, video ideas and went through lists of, like, 100, and I was like, I don't like any of these ideas.
Okay.
So, okay. I guess I'm just too picky. And I also am, like, super... No offense to influencers, but half of their stuff is just so cringe, and I'm like, I refuse to do a trending thing if it's cringy to me.
Oh, 100%. We're not trying to do...
But you have to do that to be big.
We're not trying to be like,
or
how many people...
Stuff.
Sure, you have to do something, but we're
not... And my video idea was such a relevant... Good luck. Yeah, it didn't record.
So bad. It recorded. It was recording. Like, it wasn't either of our faults. It was all set up right. We double checked, did all this stuff, and then it recorded for 3 minutes, and we were sitting there for like 40 minutes.
That's so dumb on our part for not having it set up where we can see if it stops.
Yes and no, but by the way, we're working on that right now.
Very dumb. Should have thought of that. Our old camera, of course, we've had the screen flip, we've had stuff stop, and then we were just like, oh, it stopped, and we started again, and it was fine.
But it shouldn't be stopping.
Yes, but it was like, on the Ponder videos, it like had the actual camera. We're using phones now, but the actual camera had like a cutoff at like 30 minutes or something.
Right. No.
Which is fine, and we noticed because the screen was flipped.
Right, there's no problem about that.
It was just very dumb, I think, for us to have a setup where we couldn't see if something happened or a notification popped up and messed something up or something.
No, I completely agree with you.
And...
Wow. I didn't see this comment. This is not good. Magnetic vortex resonance. Give a woman a bag of gold and she'll complain it's too heavy.
What is that?
Someone commented that. What do you think?
All right. Whatever you say, sir.
Obviously, I'm laughing at it. It's funny, the timing of it. I don't think that's a fair thing, and I'm not saying Esther sitting here complaining.
Yeah, I literally said, like, every day I'm like, oh.
Right. Yeah.
Life. Thanks for being
No, definitely,
so
definitely,
nice
definitely. And I think you know, I don't want people either thinking like I'm sitting here getting everything done. I am not working on this stuff. I am working on other things. And
you also were having a period of not wanting to work on anything because you were off.
But this is a while back though. That's a while back. That's not now.
Now you're getting up going again. But then also you still said like, oh, I need to do this email and I should have sent out like multiple days ago. So.
Oh, very true. No. Very true. Very true. Right, and that's what I was trying to say, is that I'm not sitting here saying I'm doing all this perfectly, by the way, not at all.
But it's just you have the personality to stuff not work out, you work on it for like 8 hours in a row to fix it.
Right.
Or if a plan gets changed, you're just like, you roll with everything.
But I don't want you to think that then you need to do this stuff with me if you don't want to. Like, this is stuff you say you want to do. So that's the...
I do. I think I just need to get okay with not being in the mood to do stuff and doing it anyway. Because, yeah, any job that I have, anything that we think up, there's going to be parts that are not fun.
By the way, Esther's awesome.
When people
so
say
magnetic vortex resonance, weird name
when
anyway.
They say
Esther's awesome, so that comment does not apply to Esther.
That quote that you don't like is when it's like, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
I disagree with that comment.
Doesn't exist.
No, it does not.
Everything you do, there's a part of it that's not fun, and you do it because you like what you're doing.
There's a piece of it that doesn't to just do something completely that you love. And you see these people now. You see these people where it looks like, oh, they're just doing what they love all the time, and then they're in all these problems. Magnetic vortex resonance is still here. For a large percentage of women, marriage is like landing a dream job. Then a couple years later, demanding half ownership in the business that hired you. Family law overwhelming favors women. Thanks for being here and watching. And I think this is a pertinent conversation. It's something that's important. Esther and I are doing very well. I'll let her comment on that as well.
Yes, we're thriving.
Marriage-wise. But also I think this, and other things-wise, I just feel like that's what he's speaking of. And by the way, keep commenting.
You read that kind of fast and I didn't really
for a large percentage of women, marriage is like landing a dream job. So you marrying me was landing some dream job. This is what he's saying. That's not what I said.
I'm just trying to...
Then a couple years later, demanding half ownership in the business that hired you. So... I hired you into this dream job, you marrying me, which I completely disagree with this entire thing. But this is what he's saying, and I'm happy to speak on it and continue commenting.
I'm just trying to understand what he's trying to
say. Right, and so he's saying now that you've landed this dream job, now you're demanding half ownership in the business that hired you. So the business that hired you is me. You're demanding half ownership of me, my things, my stuff, my time, whatever. Which, by the way, she gets 100% of my time and everything, and that's how it should be. So anyway, family law overwhelmingly favors women. I won't speak on this because I don't know. A wise man once said, never sign a contract with someone who gets paid to break it. So again...
I don't really understand I just don't understand where they're going with this or what they're trying to get at.
He's speaking on the different things that we've talked about, wise of like... He's speaking on things right now when we're talking about who's doing what and the timing of things. He's going. I think he. Sorry if it's not he. I don't know. That's what I'm. Well, I guess it's not what I'm gathering. There's nothing. There's whoever it is. Hello. What you're speaking of is specific and.
Actually, just what they're saying kind of implies that they're a man.
Right. No, I think so. Right, I think so. Here's another comment. Practicing law, I've learned modern women want the power and benefits of a man, the privilege and entitlement of a woman, and the responsibility and accountability of a child. So, obviously, you feel strongly about this, and you're entitled to your opinion, but I feel like there's some sort of angst or something here that has brought this on, not speaking down about you at all, but I wonder, have a blessed night. Thank you. Have a good night as well if you're heading out. Interesting conversation here, and we're having a strange conversation for a live that's called painting. Anyway. But I'm glad you found it, and thank you for commenting. I enjoy having a conversation. If you're heading out, have a great night as well. Could some of the things that he's speaking of have truth or validity? Sure, they could, but that you could say a lot of things about men too. that aren't good. And I've been talking the whole time, so I know this isn't what Esther would want to speak on, but
just not out of the blue and not being able to like visually read the stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, just off of briefly hearing it, I need to. When I look at stuff like this, talk about stuff like this, I need to like mull over it. I can't think out loud about stuff. Otherwise,
right, as in everything I think is out loud.
Yeah, you are very good at thinking out loud and kind of working through what you're thinking of. I have to like sit and think about it and formulate my opinion, and then But straight off the bat, I'm like, that sounds very sexist. All of those comments,
and it might be, but again, I don't know. Right?
And I mean, it does. Watching this live, if you don't know us at all, it does sound like, wait, this girl just does nothing and she's complaining about working on some videos. I worked for many years and an extremely trying job and bodily labor 12 hours a day. So not like I haven't done anything. And also like
But does that upset you? Like every single day
I'm like, oh, I have such a good life, thanks for blah blah blah.
Very
and it's not like you just gave me because I'm saying I'm thanking you, but it's not like you just handed me my everything.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
And that is also what he implied with one of those comments.
Yeah, multiple comments.
Married into a dream job, like, okay.
Yeah.
Men are like, now I'm going to say something sexist back to that because he's being sexist.
Well, don't though.
Okay.
But don't. I mean, I didn't
say you are half like a child because.
Oh, you could say that.
Because
that's totally fine. You
and your other stuff, and I'm home. I'm like, I get to do all the chore stuff, and I'm happy to do it. But it's like.
Well, you enjoy that. You actually like that.
Yes, I love cleaning and all this stuff. And because you know that I love that, you don't try and like. If you come in the house, it's like shoes to get taken off wherever you take them off and you leave them there. So I'm saying I don't know where.
Big time. No. And I wish you would say those things because like. I'm talking about some things that a few times during the live you were like, oh, let's delete this. You know, like why didn't you say today?
Here's the only reason I said that.
Let me finish this though. When we were at my job, nothing to do with her today. I was sitting playing the piano for a long time, and the entire time she was cleaning my room for work. She was working on it the entire time. I did not work on it today. Did I do other things? Yes, I was at the job. I was doing things, but she cleaned and did the entire room. And I just sat there playing piano. She never asked me to get up. She never asked me to come move this thing. She just cleaned the entire time. It was beautiful. She did a fantastic job. A very messy room. Nothing against the room. Love the room. Actually, both of our shirts right now are from, it's a church/school. Very fun place to work. Fantastic place. And it just happened that the room wasn't used. It hadn't been used as a classroom. That's the only reason it wasn't looking good. The other classrooms look great. We were turning it into a classroom. It literally has not been one. So we worked on it, and by we, I mean Esther. She did all of it. So like with these comments, could there be validity? Could there be truth? Could he have experienced something like this? Sure. It's not what I am experiencing at the moment. And what I want Esther to speak more on the how I would be viewed as the child if someone was on the outside looking in on normal day today, because this is true.
Like everybody has their faults, so
of course
you have some problems. I have
well, of course, but I just want to make sure that you would also feel freely to speak.
The only reason I said to delete it is I was happy to have the conversation and find I don't sound like I'm happy, and I sound super not into it. Sound like I'm happy. Like I'm just having the conversation because we're on live. So I only said delete it because I'm like, people are going to take this the wrong way. So I'm happy to have these conversations. We've had them, like you said, many times off of camera. But
communication is what it's really about.
How it looks to other people, I was like,
yeah. Communication is what it's really about, and we have good communication. And if you knew us when we first met each other, you would say these people have horrible communication, and they won't be able to communicate, and they're going to have such a difficult time. On both of our parts, by the way. I'm not hitting that on anybody. She was too quiet and I was too loud.
Yeah,
it was a weird
I didn't communicate at all, and you
Right, yes. Overstimulated your thoughts and how, and so anyway, our communication is extremely thorough now, which is fantastic and extremely important. I'm replying to this comment because I think there should also be a texted one, a chatted one, so that people see if people don't watch it and see this guy's comment, you know what I'm saying? Like I would want them to see my reply.
But
so anyway,
yeah,
continue.
This person that we don't know commenting is exactly why I said to delete it. Because if people that know us watch this, they understand how we are. Mm-hmm. But to strangers watching, they're gonna be like, I mean, I said that one time and I didn't really mean it.
I understand.
But
does it
now
upset
that I said
you?
It, I have to
does it upset you? His comments?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it didn't, by the way. I was just wondering for them to know.
No, it doesn't. I don't entirely know what they're...
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I mean, kind of, but...
Well, you know what they're saying. You don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, and I don't exactly... They said, like, 4 comments. I don't exactly know their whole viewpoint.
Of course.
So I'm not going to say, oh, they're wrong or I 100% disagree because we had a 2-second
right
thing. And any... like trying to be serious conversation over like text or message is just not ideal because you can't hear their inflection, you can't hear what they, you know, and then it's always mistimed. Like if you're texting an important conversation, it's like, oh, you're in the middle of replying, they sent a different thing, now it thinks, oh, did they think I said that comment back to this? And it's like not a good way to have a actual conversation.
I'm
so bad at looking at the camera.
Same. You people don't anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Like, well, they do it. They do and they don't. I think it's a great conversation. I think we also, as we wrap it up here, I said 30 minutes, now it's been an hour. But I enjoy this a lot. This is what I love, by the way, talking about what people love, and we've commented on this before.
And see,
in real life, not necessarily.
I'm in a better mood, but when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I don't want to do stuff, but if I just do it, then I'll be in a better mood after.
Exactly. And I think
this is why I started that journal, because I got up earlier than I have been getting up and did stuff, and I was like, I need to write down that I'm happy to do this, because in a day I'm gonna be like, I'm tired, I don't want to get up, so I need to think about what I wrote down and be like, yeah, you're tired, but you get up and you're... I wasn't even tired the day that I did get up, but then the next day I was tired and I didn't get up that early. So clearly the journaling worked great. But
you only did it once.
The point is...
But you only did it once.
If you get up and you're tired, me at the age that I am, it's like it lasts for 2 seconds. I start doing something and I'm not tired.
Right.
And it's so funny. Every time, like back when I worked and I had to get there at like 5 a.m., which was horrible, I would comfort myself my whole shift with... when I'm off, I'm going to take a nap. It's going to be so great. And then I'd never actually take a nap. And when I got up early 2 days ago, I was like, hey, if I'm tired, you know, I have the entire day. Just take a nap in the middle of it. And I didn't. But it's so funny that I will always use that to comfort myself and get myself through
and then
doing a task. And then I know that I'm not actually going to do it.
But this is so true. This is so true. This goal setting and thought process of I'm going to do this with this. Everyone's different. Everyone's worked differently. But when you boil it down, everyone's very similar, right? You could also say this, that people need this, and that to get through this, and that. And I understand what I'm saying is very vague. And if you're vague enough, then it's like, oh, you know what he's talking about.
I love that, like the fortune stuff, and they tell you a super vague thing, and then you just make it happen because you're thinking about
it's a gift.
There was a video on Instagram about it. They were like, they looked at the clock and it was like 3:23, and then they passed by a mirror and it has like a completely different number plastered across it, but then they find out a different place that has that same number that they had seen earlier because they want to see that number again because it's like, oh, it was a special number. So they just blatantly ignore like all these other random notes that were in their path with a number on it, and they're like, oh, pick up a magazine, flick through to the page number that
I see. That's heck of funny. And so
that's facts.
When I'm at the gym, I do a treadmill thing first, and it's an incline.
Now I need my fan. I'm sweating under these lights.
It's an incline speed walk. It's not a jog. It's not a run. I'm not trying to say it's something that isn't. It's a speed walk, but it's as high as it'll go. It's 15.
You know, speed walking is sometimes better than...
Yes, exactly. The easiest on your joints, the most weight loss in a lot of comparison. the leveling out of ease on your body and being able to do it for longer and the amount of burn. Could you burn more absolutely sprinting breakneck speed? Yeah, you could, but how long can you keep that up if you're not in beautiful shape? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, incline speed walk. And in my mind, I do it for 24 minutes. I actually watch a show the whole time to like just make me think of something else. I don't like just like even just like music. It's like 24 minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing's going, and I go 4. I go 24, and I go 4, 8, 12. I go, okay, that's this times this. Okay, so I've done 4 once, and so now I have 5 4s left. I got 5 4s left.
Classic workout.
Right. No, yeah, totally classic. It's not something like I made up.
Working out makes time feel like 80 times longer, so you have to be like,
I do these little things.
20%. Now I just have to do that this many more times.
But isn't that true for everything?
Yeah, but it's
You're telling me it's too long to edit. You're telling me this, that, the other thing. How can you chunk it up? And this is what I was trying to show you with the videoing. Like, and when Esther told me I'm going to give myself these different schedules. She first said 3, then she changed it to 2. Doesn't matter. She said I'm going to give myself these different schedules to follow. What did my mind go to? Okay, you got to give yourself like 16 different ones.
What?
And she's like, well, I'm just going to do 2, an early and a late. And what?
And they're both early in my mind, but I was just saying like a less early one.
Right.
But that still had the format of getting everything done. You just have to go later. So if you have a night where, we went out with friends and now it's super late and it's not realistic to get up and have only 5 hours of sleep, then you do a little
And so
later
anyway,
plan. That's
Esther was thinking
late,
of it in this
blah,
way.
blah, blah.
2 ways, simple. Nothing wrong with simple. I'm just saying it was simple. 2 things. And I was like, no, you need to give yourself one that works on Instagram. And if you don't feel like working on Instagram, you have a YouTube. You have a YouTube one. You have a YouTube schedule. I don't feel like working on YouTube today. You have a Facebook Marketplace furniture day. Then you have this day and that day, and you have all these days. Like this
is smart. You didn't explain it like that at all.
No. By the way, this is the first time this is being explained. I'm not sure why I got closer to the mic and spoke louder at the same time. But this is the first time I'm saying it. But I've thought it multiple times and it just didn't come up. So that's what I think you should do. Because
that makes sense.
Right. If you don't feel like something someday, but you also are an adult.
Yeah, see, that's the other
and
thing.
You don't.
I sometimes don't want to do that, but it's like, okay, I tell myself, no, I just have to be able to do it, but I'm not. So then just make a plan where it's easier until you can build up to that.
Exactly. But love, we tried to do that for the summer, and you didn't do it. In this instance, in this conversation, that is the truth. So how and when and why are you gonna do it? Because I.
That's exactly what we're saying. So we gotta make a.
Who's we? This is not. I have mine.
You were just saying make 16 plans of different stuff to work on.
But you have to.
That is how we're gonna have to do it.
You have to.
Hallelujah! You get the point.
No, I don't. No, I don't get the point. Because that's exactly what I'm talking about. I have that for me. I literally made that.
I love that for you.
I love that for you. I literally made that. It's so funny. A lot of people that know me and they're like, oh, you do all these different things or you enjoy it or blah, 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 whatever. What they didn't realize is I took that to the absolute max. I wasn't at home with these different schedules and giving me the freedom. I got myself all these different jobs, either made them or found them or got hired or whatever, and I created a day that had these different schedules on them, and it kept it so exciting and so much fun. I also like the thing, so obviously that is part of it, but even doing something you love, you do what you love, never work a day in your life. Not true. So even in doing something you love, on Monday I had these 3 different jobs that I did, and on Tuesday, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I created.
Hearing you say this, and
it's cool.
It makes me think we have such different. Like I could never make up all these jobs on my own and stuff. And go to a random place and be like, hey, I do this.
But that doesn't make me better or you worse.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to. At my work, I absolutely killed myself, and it wasn't at all worth it because it was a retail job. But I was true. It just meant so much to me, and it shouldn't have. But if my thing wasn't done, I'd be like, I have to stay 50 minutes longer to do this.
Right.
And that type of job, they're like, hooray, yes.
But you get nothing for it.
But then there's these other people that are like, it's 5 o'clock, I'm out. Sorry, didn't finish the job. Not my fault.
And it's this.
I would feel like guilty to take sick days, and I was actually sick. Never a day in my life have I called out sick and not been sick.
True.
But when I was sick, I was
even when I asked her to.
I just should go because they're going to be sad.
Which she doesn't do anymore, by the way. You can't do that anymore.
What?
Just because COVID and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And that was the worst. I had to be off for multiple weeks.
This is so exciting.
And I felt so bad because we had not enough managers, and it was like, well, I just can't come in. So.
And see, like, I'm getting off on something else, but a while back, I commented on what do I really like, and inside of all these weird random things that I've done, what I really do like is talking to people.
Yes, we know. We
know
this.
And talking to people, like a podcast, if I could just have scrap everything else that I do that I already like, music, art, all these different things, scrap all of that. If I could just sit down in a room and these interesting people were brought in and I got to sit down and talk with them and I was paid to do that, that would be it. I could never.
See, I like
that I could almost get to. You never work a day in your life if you love what you do, because I would love that so much.
See, I like talking too, and I like having this. I enjoyed having this whole conversation.
Enjoyed, past tense. It's still go home, baby.
Anyways,
we can stop.
But with a random stranger, I probably wouldn't, because, like I just said, I need to think about information and work it through in my mind before I can think of and express my opinion. So I wouldn't be able to do a podcast with some random person because I would feel like, let me think about what you said for like 10 minutes before I talk, and you just can't do that on a podcast.
But you're also, even though you don't seem this way and you don't want to say this, you are actually really good, like, last minute and working on something because it has happened to you.
But
you don't
with
like
important
it, but
topics,
you're good at it.
I don't want to just blurt stuff out because
on important topics.
Yeah, so if we have a podcast and some serious thing is coming up.
Oh, that's totally different. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to just
well, I
talk
could.
ideas out of my mind because I'm going to say something that I then a couple sentences later like, oh, well, that wasn't exactly what I meant.
Well, but that's the beauty of podcasts. Like, if you're debating, that's different. But a podcast, you're having conversation.
I am very conscious about what other people think of me if I feel like they're thinking not correctly. if I say something and they think, oh, that was a this comment, and I'm like, but that's not what I meant. But if somebody just doesn't like my personality, I'm like, okay, cool, bye. It's not like I'm sitting around thinking, oh, I need everybody to like me. I just want them to know what my intent is, you know? If they understand what I'm saying and decide, I don't like that opinion, then that's great and that's fine. But if they misunderstand, then I'm like, no, you can't misunderstand. You have to know what I actually meant. You know?
They'd have to really get it.
If they understand and don't like it, then that's fine because everybody has different opinions. But if they misunderstand, then
this guy,
that I would
like this guy that has a different opinion than us, obviously, in this circumstance. I really enjoy talking about that. But yes, you have to be very quick on your feet. You have to not.
And that's what I'm not good at. A debate class, I would absolutely die.
Oh, you would just not do it.
You
just wouldn't do it, though.
You get to, like, think of your...
Well, yeah, but you still wouldn't do it. You're right. You wouldn't. Yeah. And I enjoy things like that. And, but anyway, talking about lots of different things. So, takeaway...
Now okay, we're going to do, like, 30-minute ones. It's going to be, like, 2 hours.
So, the takeaway of this, number one, people have different opinions. He's on here. You know, got a different opinion than us, and that's okay. Difference of opinion is fine. You know, as long as it's not, you know, harming somebody else, which a comment is not, obviously.
Yeah.
But I hope that, you know, he's doing okay and not, you know.
That's the fine line, because it's like, differing opinions, sure, but if your opinion is somehow, I don't like you, so I'm going to call you all these names and attack your everything, then it's like, okay, well, you have your opinion, but you don't need to destroy people.
Because if it's really just an opinion and really just a comment, right, it's not harming somebody. They can say something that you really disagree with, and you're like, whoa. And you know, but you can obviously get past that, and anyway, that's different. That's not the takeaway, by the way. That's not the takeaway.
The importance is when you have differing opinions to still be able to talk to somebody who has a completely different and not attack each other.
Right, very important.
That's where it's like, ugh. And so many people are like that because they're like,
you
can't have a different opinion.
Right.
Because your opinion is wrong.
Right. So one takeaway wasn't wasn't that. But one takeaway, I just think, people have different opinions, and
but
it's nice to be able to talk about it. The second takeaway would be no, it's okay. And the second, some of the other takeaways is we're gonna keep working on this schedule thing. And instead of me saying all the takeaways, Esther will come up with some takeaways.
Hello? I had a comment. What was I saying before?
We'll do the takeaways first. And
no,
then we can
I have to do my other comment, otherwise I'm going to forget. The other hard thing is two differing opinions, but this person says, your opinion is harming other people. And the other person says, no, that's just my opinion. So it's also hard because you can't.
It's very hard, yes.
Yeah.
Because some people's opinion might actually.
That opinion is harming this person. And
right.
It's harming me, and they get to decide if it's affecting them in whatever way.
Yeah, it does. It's dicey for sure.
Yeah,
it's dicey.
There's
a gray area in there for sure.
So anyway, takeaways. Is life's trouble.
Yes. Anyway, takeaways. I said some.
Takeaways.
Yep, takeaways. Important things from.
We're very blessed and dare I say privileged, and
you wouldn't want to. I mean,
I know I'm not, but we kind of are.
And I'm not saying that we're not either. It's just that's a totally different conversation.
Not that we both had perfect coming to where we are now, but I'm just saying we had a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't have.
Well, we have a lot of things that a lot of people don't have. This is true.
Yes,
yeah, but that's a very deep thing.
I would call that a privilege, not maybe privilege.
No, and that's fine. I'm not saying you can't say that. I'm not saying you can't say that, but that's what I'm saying. People take that a lot of different ways, and people are allowed to take it whatever they want, but that's just such a deep.
Yeah, the conversation we're having, it may sound like one of us is being dismissing what we have, but.
Right.
So my takeaway is acknowledging that we have a very good life and we're both extremely happy.
Yes.
So but just because you're happy doesn't mean there's not stuff that you're working on and parts that
very
are
true. Yes.
Not all that they
things that you're working on at the same time. Yeah.
So keep working on scheduling. Me building self-discipline.
Okay. But also the scheduling. Talk about the way you're going to schedule now because you liked
self-discipline. There's another word that I'm trying to think of. That's
such a great word though. Self-discipline. That's a great one.
Maybe that is what I'm trying to
I hope it is because that's literally perfect.
Like I was saying with how hard I worked at my work, I'm not just a lazy person.
No, Esther's not lazy at all.
I worked super hard and
But you've said
did
yourself.
a lot of stuff that I didn't need to do just because I cared so much about because it was my job.
But you've said yourself that if you could just do nothing, you'd rather. So
I take that back. Now that I've had the opportunity to do nothing, it makes me feel like trash, and because
you've said that fairly recently.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying you take it back as in just
fairly recently? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you've said that fairly recently. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying.
Yes, that's people. I'm sure lots of people who are unhappy with their job would say, "Oh, I'd just rather do nothing." But once you are sitting around actually doing nothing, it's like you don't feel good at the end of the day.
True.
Your body also just doesn't feel good. By the way, my body feels so much better not doing manual labor 12 hours a day. And I'm getting back into my stretching and exercising.
So
anyways, where was I going?
Well, we were talking about scheduling, but the specific.
We were trying to do takeaways, and then I went back into having.
Well, right, but then you were on to the schedule takeaway, which I think is the biggest takeaway, by the way.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think something's weird happening with my camera, by the way. So if something's weird,
maybe I need a laptop where I can go somewhere to work on videos and not have me sitting at the desk. Oh, this thing didn't work. Let me just walk away and get a snack, and not have that opportunity. We've talked about this. Again.
So the day you don't feel like it,
when I'm
wait, she has a don't feel like it schedule, and it's leave the house with a laptop.
What?
There's something weird with my camera, guys. Sorry.
I keep losing my train of thought. Anyways, I think I gathered it. I like to say once I sit down to make the schedule, I'm like, no, I just need to be able to tell myself and do it. But I'm not. So I just need to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, you should be able to have the self-discipline to do this, but you don't, and you haven't been. So you get to have a schedule that looks like it's made for a child because you can't get yourself to do it. So you start there so that you can do it, and then you build up. Yes, you could jump right to the thing, but if you haven't done it, then too bad. You don't get to tell yourself, no, I can just
but we need to be honest.
That's exactly what I was just doing.
Well, I know, no, you were. But now we need to say how many times have we had this conversation, and then you didn't go and do the thing that you wanted to go do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to be different this time? Are you actually going to make that schedule?
I don't
Are you
think
gonna
we talked about it this long.
Oh, well, that would be a bigger. That would be even a bigger mistake.
We definitely have before.
But that would be an even bigger mistake on our part if we haven't spoken about stuff like this. That would be even worse.
I know that we have, but I don't think I have sat for how long has this been going?
But that's a problem.
The recent times that we've discussed it, again, I'm saying we probably have discussed it for this long.
But if it hasn't been done, why aren't we still discussing it? And here's the problem.
Why I haven't is because then I go, after this, I do it for a day, something bad happens, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it today.
But that's bad. That's fault. Really bad.
Exactly.
That I can just flat out write. You're saying it. We're having a conversation. I'm not saying you're bad or anything like this. You're saying that when something bad happens, then you just want to quit. That's just the worst attitude.
Not wanting to quit. It's just like...
That's the worst attitude.
What I said earlier.
But that's the worst attitude you could have.
That's what I'm saying. Goodness gracious. Do you listen to anything?
I am just agreeing with you and saying that you're right in thinking that. So then does that make you want to change that?
Yes, it does. Right. And right now I'm like, great.
So how long tomorrow are you going to work on it?
And then, but like...
Well, grab the journal. Write it down. Like, I don't understand what
we talk about all this stuff, and then it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to work on stuff. And then I'm like, what do I work on?
It's really unfair when you say that.
It's hard for me because to work on stuff, I just have to create what to work on.
Great.
And that is the difficult part for me. At my work, I was shown how to do a couple things, and then I took what I was shown, and I could handle a project that maybe wasn't explained to me because I had the tools. Well, everything with this stuff is new to me. I don't even know how to use the computer.
But you
it's very difficult.
But you do have the tools. Here, you do have the tools. You do have the
But
tools.
It's like, and a lot of times...
all the capability.
Not dissing you, but a lot of times...
You can say, hey, you can say anything about me.
You'll explain a thing how to do.
Mm-hmm. Explain a thing how to do?
Explain to me how to do something, but then you'll like explain a brief and be like, okay, now you got to do it to learn.
Oh, that was hecka funny. Like, you went, okay, and you hit and the whole thing's like...
And then you're like, you gotta figure it out by yourself. And I'm like, I can't. I need you to explain it again.
Mm-hmm. No.
I had a couple things where they had to show me like 3 times, and then boom, got it.
Yeah, I've done that for sure. I've done that.
Yeah. You have, but also sometimes...
Wait, I'm agreeing with you. What's up with that face?
I know, but sometimes you won't even want to show me how to do something. You're like, just try and figure it out first. And it's like, that's not how I work. That's not how my brain works. This is true. I can do that, but it is also
true that if you do it yourself and find the process yourself, you're going to remember it better. Many of the things that I have shown you, you forget or can't do or won't do the next time. And so if you figure out how to find these things, if you learn how to learn...
Why I'm telling you
these specifically, I'm not saying she needs to learn.
It's very difficult to do that is because I know nothing
of
this field.
But then
I was able to do that at work. A situation came up that never explained to me, but because I knew the store and I know generally how they run and what they want, I could just come up with something.
And you can do that here too.
I've worked on for maybe like a couple months, and I had never touched a computer before besides sending like an email, maybe printing something.
Which is just funny, by the way.
I literally had to ask at work, how do you print something? And they're like, oh, right click, left, blah, 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 and hit print. Like, how could you not know that? And I was like,
that is so funny.
Literally never been on a computer before. Sorry.
Great conversation. It's getting long, which I love.
What I'm trying to say here is I worked at my work for like 5 years. So when I left, let me just pat myself on the back. When I left, they said I was the best in the district, which she really was, by the way. Yeah. And they were
it's not a small thing.
They just, days before I was leaving, when they knew I had put my 2 weeks in, they were like, don't you want to be a step higher where you are, though?
Yeah, many times they offered her more money, higher position.
Sometimes also, I feel like a lot of time has gone past because days feel so much longer.
Right.
Now that I'm not freaking commuting to work, 10-hour shift, coming back, blah, 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 just days feel longer.
Right.
So I feel like it was a long time ago, and I'm like, I was a manager? I closed an entire store by myself? Yeah. I had the keys and the codes to all this money and stuff? Like, what? Very strange.
Yes.
So anyways, let me tell you guys that I'm a good worker.
Esther's an extremely good worker.
But I've worked on this for so little. Like, when I first started work, some of the managers that had been there were, like, pretty dismissive of me and, like, annoyed because I'd call them every 2 seconds with a question because I didn't know how to do anything. Also, when I got hired, I was hired into a position that they're supposed to bring people into that have worked there because it was a management, not like a super manager because they didn't have like the keys or the codes, but it was a customer service manager. So you needed to know how to run the registers and stuff, and I didn't know that. So they brought me right into that position. They said, this isn't how we usually fill this position, but we need it to be filled. So
which a lot of people have experienced.
So then I would call them every 2 seconds, figure stuff out. Hobby Lobby is notorious for giving you like a 2-second explanation and then running because there's just so much to do. So they're like, here, put you somewhere, run. So it was like, ugh, so much stuff that I didn't know how to do, and I just had to work it out. So this is the stage that I'm in. So you feel like, can't you just look this stuff up? Can't you just figure it out? And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Can you explain this again? I've only worked on this for like 4 months tops. So I'm going to I know that I'm going to get to a place where I feel confident working on this stuff.
But you'll have to work on it consistently. You're not putting in enough time to get to that point.
But I also don't have, like, you're super busy. I just have to figure it out by myself, and I'm not so good at that. At work, I was there for this amount of time. I had to be there to keep the job. Right. And they had to answer my questions because I didn't know how to do it, and I would just, if I can't help this customer, they're going to sit here and wait, so they have to help me. You have so much other stuff you're doing.
Right.
So you can't just tell me how to do it.
But I always answer a text.
It's also
just text is sometimes very difficult to answer the question.
But it's also just a different situation. Of course it is. I have to have the willpower to say, okay, I can't do this. He's not helping me. I can just figure it out on my own. It'll take me forever because I don't know any of the software.
Go to your other schedule.
But,
go to your other schedule. I know.
But I've already, in my few months, now I know how to edit the audio. But here's the thing. I only know how to edit it the one way. So if you have like,
something messes up. Right.
Car went past, this helicopter flew overhead, we need to change this a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Right. So,
and also,
we have very actionable items.
With the computer stuff, I'm like scared to like click something wrong.
Yeah, facts.
You know,
so we have very actionable items. This is what I love. I hope Esther loves it too. And we have some very specific things that we'll be able to work on precisely moving forward. And I think it will be very good. These are the type of conversations we need to have. These are the kind of conversations we want to have. And often live is a very good place to do it, kind of like a podcast. So I hope more of these conversations happen on live. So I hope you enjoy watching them, and I hope you watch them. And
if you don't, we enjoy making them. So we're
just
gonna keep doing it.
Exactly. So, but this is our journal. This is our thing. Yeah. This is us talking.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, this is
one of my days where I feel like I don't know what to do. Just watch it live.
Hear what we talked about.
Talk about it. And also, when you first started showing me how to do stuff, we just filmed a thing of us talking about nothing that we never posted, just to show me how to edit. So I can literally just do that.
True.
Which I kind of have because I had some stuff we filmed that I didn't really like, but I just edited it.
Mm-hmm.
Edited it.
I love that word.
Because I was like, let me just work on the process of editing. So I can put that into my schedule if I'm saying, I don't know how to fill 8 hours of the day working on this stuff.
Right.
Just literally film a thing of me saying, da-da-da-da-da.
And speaking of schedules, obviously we'll get much more in depth on this.
And do some loud noises and give myself a hard audio to try and fix.
And speaking of, I mean, we'll obviously get much more in depth on this off of live, but you have to go through a lot of Instagram things. We're adding on more of the TikTok with the different things. So you're gonna have a lot of different schedules. Like I'm saying, like 16 wasn't a joke. Like it could easily be that or more. Where you're like, okay, I'm not feeling this thing because isn't it a beautiful thing that you have the opportunity to just switch what you're doing at any time? But it's also extremely dangerous to be able to just be like, oh, now I can do whatever. So that's why you have to give yourself practical, number one, practical. But also, I'll just use a word that I like to use. It doesn't fit perfectly here, but purposeful. My band book, my band curriculum, my mom came up with purposeful practice and purposeful things to do. Practical and purposeful. Purposeful meaning they're productive. You could also, oh, look at all these P words, love it. Practical, not that I love P, but they just all start with the same letter, and that's what's cool. Exactly. Purposeful practice. Practice is also a great thing to use here for you because you have to practice. You have to practice these things, and then what was the other one? Productive. Yes. Productive. Because I was using purposeful instead of another word that started with P, productive. Make sure they're all productive things. All of those 16 things you have to feel like, because then you feel bad. You've told me many, many times, and you've said during the live, you feel bad at the end of the day when you didn't do those things that you said you were going to do or you wanted to do. And then you're like, darn, I didn't do it, but I really didn't want to then. And this feeling of bad isn't even as bad as the feeling I had when I was freaking doing the things. You know? So these purposeful practice things that you have to practice and making sure they are productive. All of them have to be productive. They have to be working on one of these streams of things that we have going on. And once you get that down, once you get that schedule down and you're working on that, you're always going to have something to do that, and of course we have the ability to then just totally go off the schedule. But it has to be abnormal that we go off the schedule. It has to be not the norm. Right now our norm is to not follow the things we have said, And so anyway, great conversation. Esther will scoot over here in my cam so we can end together. Great conversation. Absolutely love it. Not only is it not something that we will delete, it'll be one of our favorite lives, and we'll continue working on these things, and you guys will hear a lot more from us. So have a great night. See you guys later. Bye.